Men will never settle, so why should you? As a divorce lawyer, I've spent years listening to what breaks relationships apart. And what I've learned is that men rarely settle. They don't lower their standards for peace. They don't shrink their goals to make someone else comfortable. They don't stay in something that doesn't serve them just because time has passed. Yet women are taught to do exactly that, to compromise until there's nothing left of who they were, to convince themselves it's mature to accept less than they need, to stay just because they've already invested years, even when those years were lonely. We tell women to be more understanding, to be more patient, to be more forgiving. But where is the conversation telling women to be more discerning? You were not put here to play life coach, babysitter, or rehab for someone's emotional immaturity. You were not designed to love someone through their potential while putting your own dreams on pause. You were not born to settle just because he has a good job, a clean car, and the bare minimum ability to communicate. Meanwhile, men will date younger, aim higher, upgrade the moment they feel they're not being respected. They don't stay in something out of guilt or pressure. They don't worry if people will call them selfish. They just move on. Why are you convincing yourself to stay where you're not being met? Staying out of fear isn't love. Sacrificing your joy to avoid being alone isn't noble. It's survival. And you don't have to survive your own relationship. You are allowed to want more. You are allowed to leave if your needs aren't being met. You are allowed to rewrite the story without making yourself the villain. Because if he wouldn't settle, why should you? You weren't made to be half loved. You were made to be chosen fully. And you don't owe anyone an apology for waiting for that.
For a long time, especially in relationships, women have been taught to accept less than what they deserve. That's true. We're raised to be patient, to make things work, to put others first, and to keep the peace, even if it costs us our own happiness. Meanwhile, men are rarely told to settle. They're encouraged to chase what they want, walk away when they're not happy, and expect the best. That imbalance teaches women to accept crumbs while men hold out for the full meal. And that's not right. Women have been told to take what's given. He's a good man. At least he doesn't cheat. You're lucky someone picked you, but that mindset is crazy. It tells women to silence their needs and shrink themselves to make relationships work. It teaches them that their value is in how much they can endure. But women are done carrying their emotional weight, okay? Being the peacemakers and accepting bare minimum effort just to say they have somebody. That time is up. It's time for women to stand up and stop settling. Allow yourself to leave. Allow yourself to say, this isn't enough for me. You don't have to prove your loyalty to someone who isn't showing loyalty to you. Wanting more doesn't make you ungrateful. It makes you aware. You deserve partnership, not survival. Real love doesn't ask you to suffer in silence. It meets you with respect, effort, and care. And if it's not what you're getting, it's okay to walk away and choose yourself.